What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about CLSK Cleanspark today. I want to just talk about this because, this is one of my worst calls that I've made in quite a while, probably the whole time that I've made YouTube videos. I bought right around, let's see, we're on this day here, right? I want to say, no. What day was it? I think I bought on this day. Maybe I bought on this day. I forget which one it was. But I basically, man, I bought the top. I bought the top of this little bull trap, and that's exactly what it is. Where is this probably going to go from here? In the immediate term, I think it does have lower prices to go. In the long term, I think that it's going to do fantastic things, and it is going to go far higher than where I bought it at, But in the meantime, last week we did end up having a bearish engulfing candle after having a bullish engulfing candle. Still pretty sizable volume, so I do think that this thing wants to go a little bit lower. I would be surprised if we went lower than this low here. I don't know. I really don't know how to draw this line, man, actually. Let's see. Something maybe not like that. I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, it's arguable that we've already broken out of this. It's pretty debatable. I don't know. But anyways, I don't think that we go lower than this low here. We could go a little bit lower. Let's look at this thing from a low to a high point. For those of you who want to buy into Cleanspark or get into it, I mean, at this point in time, you're buying about 20% lower than I did. And we are at a previous area of resistance, potentially finding support on it. We could turn around. We'll look at the shorter time frames on this to kind of get more confirmation. But looking at it on a weekly, man, we aren't even below the 50. We are still in this overall higher low, higher high structure on the RSI. It wouldn't be totally uncommon to come up, find a lower high, and get some bearish divergence before really turning around. This is enough though to turn around right here as well. And let's see, man, we got really close to the 50. We kind of hugged it for a while. I don't know, man. I'm not so convinced that this is going to be a top, a high. You know what I mean? I mean, it is a high, like this was a high, but I don't think it's going to be a high like this was a high, right? I don't think that we're going to set new lows after this. And I really would be surprised if we went lower than that. Let's see again from bottom to top here. If we were to go down, we could go down to, we're at 496 right now. We could go to 433. That would be a total drop from the current price of about, that would be about 15%, a little bit more than 15%, right? No, 13%. I'm sorry, 13.2% of a drop. We could even wick a little bit below the 382. But overall, I think this thing is in a very bullish structure. Even with this like bearish engulfing candle, you can see here. I don't know. Let's see. This was a pretty bearish engulfing candle, followed by more to the downside, and then we turned around from there. Very bearish candle here, arguably the most bearish candle we've seen in a while, besides this one, and that's when we bottomed. Contrary to that, whenever we were in our downtrend, we had a bullish engulfing candle, and then we got 8 alive. Bullish engulfing candle, you got 8 alive. So now I think we're in an uptrend. I think this thing, it likes to psych people out, is what it looks like. Bearish engulfing candle here, and then you kind of like found your low. You actually went higher there. Bearish engulfing candle here, and you did find a low, double bottom, and then you continue to go higher. Let's see on the larger scale, actually, on a monthly basis. This is something that I really like about this chart, is that, I mean, for one, the RSI looks a little bit constructive. It is neutral at the moment. Rejecting this 50 area isn't good, but there is still 10 days left in the month. We have enough time to come up and close the month green or neutral and not reject this 50. Even if we do reject it, the next month could be green, and then we reject the 50 momentarily right now, but don't reject it. But all in all, this is a nice Adam and Eve looking bottom here. And if we go to the pattern site by Thomas Bulkowski. I love this guy. I love this thing, man. This is a real tool in itself. If we look up Adam and Eve's, Adam and Adam, Adam and Eve's, double bottoms, this is what they look like. You got the what's it called? The Adam, the V, and then you got the Eve, the U. He gives an example here even, right? That's your Adam, that's your Eve. It's a little less conventional looking than, or more conventional looking than this one is here, but still you can see the Adam and the Eve. It looks pretty clear to me. And this is a bottoming formation. And all this volume building up here, man, I think this is go time. I really do think that there's a lot being bought right here. And even if this month closes red, I think, the next year has a lot in store for this thing. Let's see, from top to bottom, we are finding resistance at the 382, very common area to find resistance at. We could go down to the 236, though we don't have to. It wouldn't be bad. If we did go all the way down to the 236 and found support there, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing at all. But we don't have to. We could also, continue to hold this kind of ascending structure that we have right now, right? We're in this like somewhat of an ascending channel, and just work our way all the way up literally to the sweet spot between the 618 and the 69 there. But it makes sense. We're at the 50 on the monthly. We are at the 382 on this overall like kind of larger scale. It kind of makes sense that we would find some resistance here. I wish that I didn't go in at the price that I did, of course, but I'm in it to win it at this point, man. So I'm definitely not selling here. Even here, this is another 382 from an even larger fib perspective. And we did, ultimately we did actually go up to this sweet spot right here as well. And yeah, we actually even went below the 236, and now we're coming back up. But let's see, looking at the daily here, working our way down. Looking at the daily, we do have some form of bullish divergence presenting itself, though I would say that this down move might not be over yet. We actually very well could see a move that negates this bullish divergence. We could come down and bounce off the oversold zone. We might even get into the oversold zone. It kind of depends. There's a couple possibilities there. We could bottom right here. We could, hold this and not go any lower. It is possible. Let's see. Looking back at this thing, let's just see how it likes to perform. So we were overbought, and we came down. Let's see. I mean, you were overbought here, and you came down, and then you bounced up. You didn't have to go oversold. Here you were overbought, and you did have to see the oversold zone before turning back up again. Here you were overbought. You did see the oversold zone before. You even saw it a couple times before. Overbought to oversold. You did hold the 50 here, though. So anytime you hold the 50, that's okay. You don't have to get oversold. But there was this one time, again, where you didn't hold the 50, and you still went up afterwards. And that was back, that was in the middle of this uptrend. So maybe we don't have to get oversold. Just being this low, though, I would expect that we do. At least see a bounce off this line, which it looks prone to doing. If not, get a little bit into the oversold zone. I don't think that we're going to get too oversold. We're not going to see strong readings to the downside. This was in the midst of the bear market for this thing, so I don't think that we're going to see that. I do think that a new trend is forming right now. But let's just see if there's any other instances. Here, yeah, sure, you went below the 50 and you came back up, but you didn't get overbought, did you? And I wonder, you didn't form new highs. You were actually in a downtrend at that point. If something like this happened, maybe I could sell for like an even, or for a no loss, no gain, no loss, just a net zero gain there. But let's see. Here, again, kind of a double top, a little slightly higher high there. And you did bounce kind of in this area after being overbought. So it does happen. It's not too common, though. Generally, when you break through the 50 after being overbought, it looks like you like to get into this oversold zone. So I'm not holding my breath for this being bullish divergence. It's not common to see bullish divergence in this band. You normally see it whenever you're in the oversold zone itself. You would get a low here and then a higher low, and then you would move up. And then that would also reflect to a low and a lower low in price. Yes, technically to some degree we are bullishly diverging right now, but I'm not holding my breath over that. I do and would expect that price goes lower as well as the RSI goes lower. I would more at this point in time expect to bounce off of the oversold zone, but leaving the possibility open to slightly going into it, right? We could see readings at 25, maybe even down to 20. That's totally possible. I wouldn't expect anything deeper than that, though, personally. Because, again, on the weekly, I think this weekly RSI is strong, and it's in an area where I would like to bounce. So if we went, down the next couple days, we still have 4 days left in this week. If we were to go down, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then close the week a little stronger, maybe have a neutral week or like a red week out, like where we're at now, I feel like closing here would be fine to maintain this uptrend. If we close a little bit lower, even closing below the 50 would be fine. But if we close like below, I'd say below 45 or even around 45, that might be a little discouraging in my opinion. But anyways, looking at this thing on a more fine tune, we can see on the 1 hour we do have bullish divergence. We have this peak, this peak, this peak here. I think these two peaks are the ones that it's diverging from. Oh no, yeah, even over here. I wouldn't include these in the count though. You've got a low here, a lower or a higher low here, lower low. Maybe you do see some kind of move up tomorrow. Maybe it could go up to this purple line at 576. That might be nice. Maybe this is the low. Maybe we do stop going lower from here. It's really hard to say, but I'm not counting on it. I'm not holding my breath over that. Some nice bullish divergence on the 15-minute. You do have hidden bearish divergence though on it as well, and you did go up to where the divergence formed. So this move might have been the resolve that you were looking for anyways. Again, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not too excited at the moment. Nobody likes to be down, especially 20%. But man, I think that down here, relatively speaking, it is a good time to buy. It probably does go a little bit lower. If I had to guess, I would think that it goes a little bit lower. And where to? I would think, if we took this bottom to top here and looked for extensions, probably around $4.50, maybe even at $4 itself. Do I think that we go below this one here at like $3.60? Probably not. I don't think so. But around $4 to $4.48, that's probably where we bottom out. If I was looking to get in this thing or throw more money in it, which I'm definitely considering, I would wait until we're probably below $4.55 to really get antsy or eager or ready for that. I don't know. Overall, I do think that CLSK Cleanspark has a bright future. I do think that it is going to achieve new all-time highs before the year of 2025. I mean, that is a long time out from now, but I think more or less this thing is in a kind of W formation. It's got its, oops, that was a bit overdrawn there. It's got its atom here. It's got its Eve here. It might even be an atom and atom, but I think that it holds this structure, continues to build upwards, and then inevitably will break this high. And from there, you would see at least a target of $591. Right now, we're at $5. So that would be an overall growth of a 100x in price. And that's why, I'm definitely excited about this thing. Even whenever I bought it at about like $6.15, $6.20, somewhere in there. That's kind of why I'm not too worried about this. If it is to drop, if it's to go to new lows and just be condemned to nothingness, then boo-hoo, that sucks. But I didn't, again, I didn't bet the farm on this thing, and I am kind of willing. Looking at this volume, just the overall structure of this thing, man, I'm definitely liking it. So I'm not too worried about it. It is a low cap coin or stock. It's a low cap stock, having a market cap of $558 million right now. That gives it a lot of potential to gain value. It's not worth multiple billions of dollars, even tens or hundreds of billions of dollars. It could one day reach a $100 billion market cap, and being at a $558 million, to achieve a 100x in price would put it at $56 billion. So the fact that this thing could one day see $100 billion or more, that's exciting. That's exciting. And that might not happen in the next 2 years. It might happen in the next 2 years, but I just mean throughout its lifetime, it really has a chance to do this. This is a crypto mining stock. Crypto is only going to gain value in the future, and they use nuclear power to mine a lot of their Bitcoins and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of interest, let's actually look at the volume here. Let's see how much volume was here on this before we wrap up the video. By the way, talking about how this week here was a bearish engulfing candle, this month here was just extremely bullish, man. A very, very bullish candle. 40% to the upside. You had another one down here that was 40% as well. Like, so what? You're going down a little bit now. You still have 10 days left in this month to come up and kind of show some neutrality in this. You are, again, bouncing or potentially finding support on a previous area of resistance. You're testing it right now. It would be nice if you went below here, that you didn't go too much lower and that you did come back up quickly. It definitely would be nice. But could we go to $4? It's possible. It is possible. I don't think that we would go below 360. That's something that I would stand by. But looking at the monthly here, what was I going to say? What was it that I was just going to say? I got distracted. Oh yeah, the volume. So looking at this volume here, that is 255 million shares in volume at a lowest price of $4.33. That would be over $1 billion in volume, right? That's over $1 billion in volume. So even at its lowest price, it probably, at its highest price, $760, that's closer to $2 billion in volume. So that amount of volume for a stock that has a market cap of $558 million, you saw double that, likely double that in 1 month's time, along with all these other months that have had a high amount of volume as well, including this month, at a higher low point, right? You've got your low down here, you've got a higher low here, and you're coming up. I think this is very bullish, you guys. I think it's very bullish indeed. Look at the little amount of volume you had down here, and you saw from a low to a high, you saw a growth total of 43, almost a 44x. From the current price with more volume, if we were to return to this high, that's an 8, almost a 9x. That's an 8.5x right there, and I do think we would pass that, likely going on to new highs. And in fact, how you would look at this pattern if this is an Adam and Eve, you know, if it is, then whenever you break this, that's when the breakout actually occurs. When you break this little, like, this neckline here, it's not the neckline, it's the I forget what to call it. The, let's see if there's actually a name for it in here. Bulkowski, give me something, man. Peak. The peak, the rise between bottoms should measure at least 10%, but allow variations of the patterns. Line discussed. I don't know. Separation, conformation, shape. It might be the peak. We'll call it the peak. That might not be the actual technical term, but this little, yeah, you see how it says confirmed here? This is where you broke, you got to it, you like tied it, and then you confirmed it here. You went down, but then ultimately higher. Once you break this, you would get a confirmation of the move up, and that likely would, I mean, from a measure move perspective, that would take you past this high. And again, the minimum target once you break this high would be $591, which is over a 100x from the current price, let alone if this thing drops down to $4, or what was it that I was saying, $4.50 or $4, something like that, I think. Let's see. Bottom to top, 430 maybe. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I'm definitely not happy about this trade at all, about this position that I'm in, but overall I'm not too worried about it. I think things will play out. You can't be right all the time. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again, and you know that you can't let that shake you. Don't let your emotions get the best of you, because again, all we're doing right now at the current point in time is testing a previous area of resistance as support. You know, that's all we're doing, and we literally could bounce right off this area. There is bullish divergence on the 1 hour right there, and technically we do have it on the daily, though I just wouldn't. On the daily, that's where it conflicts a little bit. I would expect that we see oversold prices or oversold readings in the RSI, maybe at least a bounce off the oversold zone, if not getting into it. I would more likely at the moment believe that we get overbought or oversold, like bounce off the oversold zone. And that could allow the 1 hour to further bullishly diverge even. We could come down, form a higher low in the RSI, get a lower low in the price, and just create further divergence, ultimately winding us up for a nice pop to the upside. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. And if you're looking to get in, man, you're going to be buying more than $1 below where I bought on an asset that's less than $5. So I definitely, I would give it the green light. I would give it the green light for sure. Anyways, take care.